Yep, we're gonna make sourdough naan bread. Naan bread. We're gonna use the same dough that you know how to make for a sourdough sandwich loaf, a sourdough round, pizza dough. This is the same. There's no Greek yogurt, there's no tahini, there's no additives, there's no butter. This is our same dough. 75% hydration. We're just gonna cook it different and we're gonna turn it into naan bread. It's gonna have some nice crispy burnt little edges, soft, chewy, wonderful, fluffy crumb inside. It's gonna be great. Here we go, naan bread. All right, so we're starting with a batch of dough, just like you know how to do. You know, it's starter at 7 a.m., start the dough at 3 p.m., stretch and fold 4 times, bulk fermentation, 10 o'clock at night it goes in the fridge, you wake up and here we are at 7 a.m. And I'm dividing the dough, it's 500-gram batch of dough, flour, and I'm dividing it into 185 to 190 gram, portions. We're gonna package them up into kind of, just little bundles to like pre-shape. And then we're going to ball them tightly as we would with pizza dough. This is gonna take the air out of it. It's gonna create some tension in the dough so that when we eventually shape it, we don't end up with any thin spots. It sets us up to have like a consistent thickness when we stretch it to grill it. Yes, we're going to grill our naan bread. I don't have a Tandoor oven. So they all get balled up. Sheet tray, parchment paper, cover them, refrigerator. Because this is early, it's like 7 or 8 in the morning, and we're gonna cook naan bread at dinner time, like kind of more a la minute, on the minute. When it's time to eat it, it doesn't need like a ton of time to cool off. It'll be fine. Now, I'm using charcoal and hickory, and before I cook my naan bread, there's a tri-tip, cook the tri-tip's resting. It needs to rest for a while. So I've got plenty of time to get some naan bread going with no real hurry. This is like an easy way to make a carbohydrate that's not just another sourdough round. This really changes things. Now, before we grill it, we need to oil up our dough because we don't want it to stick to the grill. So, scrub your grill down real good, grill brush. And then we're olive oiling it, we're gonna rub it all over all the sides, the bottom. A little salt, season it with a little bit of salt. And now when we get to the grill, we're gonna shape it, we're gonna stretch it, just like we would pizza dough, right? Pinch, pinch, go around in a circle, and I did a terrible job showing you what I'm doing here, but really it's like doing pizza dough, but then you can see here, I give it kind of that long stretch to make it more of like a strip, kind of more oval shaped. And then from here, once you like the size and the thickness, remember these are small, they're 180, 90 grams, so they're gonna be pretty easy to deal with because you're not gonna have a lot of dough hanging down. We are using gravity. Your hands will be very oily. I have a wet, damp kitchen towel nearby, just kind of wipe my hands off. But here we go, on the grill, and you can see, you can hear, sizzling, sounds great. And it'll puff up as we go. And I have room for about 2 of these on here. So now, here we go, shaping the other one. And we'll get this one onto the grill also, like just side by side. And you have to manage your fire. If you're going propane, you have the luxury of turning your heat up or down, but you want to start pretty hot so it doesn't stick. If it's not hot enough, the dough will settle through the grates and you're not getting it off the grill. So you want it to be hot. The olive oil will only take you so far. You gotta have hot grates, just like hot saute pan, so your skin side down piece of salmon doesn't stick. Same concept, you want hot grates. So, good color here. I wanna see it puff. I wanna see these bubbles and, see it expand, get that spring on the grill before I flip it over. And then, I flip it over and I've got all this awesome char. And the char is good, we like the char. It's got really interesting flavor. And you can see like it's not consistently charred over the whole thing, and I like that because then later when we go to plate it, when we go family style and I cut it up, there would be a lot more choices for everybody. Like, oh, I want like a dark piece. Oh, I want a light piece. I want a light piece and a dark piece. So it adds like some variety to what hits the table. So total cooking time. It's gonna depend on the heat of your grill and if you're going charcoal. I can't turn up the heat on this. It is what it is. So I have to kind of move it around, and you can see like I put these two in the back corner to just continue cooking. I want the dough to cook all the way through. So we're looking for the big bubbles, the big expansion on that first side, and then we'll flip it over and kind of go the rest of the way and get it cooked through. From here, they go off, they go on parchment paper, sheet tray, and we do a couple more. There's 5 of them. 5 of them? 6 of them? There's 6 of them? 5 of them. And same process, shape it as you go. Unfortunately, it was like 25 degrees outside when I was doing this, so my dough was actually getting colder every time I went to go shape a new one, and that made it a little bit more difficult to stretch it. If it's warmer at your house in your environment, chances are like your dough will warm up and it'll be easier and it'll yield to gravity faster than mine do. But, you know, presentation side down, let it bubble up, get good color, flip it over, done. I think total maybe 7 or 8 minutes to get one cooked all the way through. And, you know, come back in the house and we're gonna cut them into strips. But you can choose to cut them however the heck you want. If you wanna go big pieces and then have more of that like tear it up as you eat it kind of vibe happening like in an Indian restaurant, go for it. We do strips, just like I was saying, so you have more choices for getting the light and dark pieces that you want. But you can see it, it's light and airy inside, it's got crisp char on it. This stuff's great, it's wonderful. You don't have to be having Indian food to be able to decide it's a good idea to put naan bread on the table. I mean, we're having tri-tip and salad and naan bread. It's too good to think you have to have Indian food to have naan bread. And I know it's, you know, quotes, naan bread. But this is just a twist on something you already know. Your hands are gonna get greasy from the olive oil. I'm sorry, that's the deal. Sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to make naan bread for dinner.